Rebuilding 3 Stuart steam plants. Part 1, the introduction. The owner arrives with the steam plants and they are all quite different. Upon close examination, it appears that one of them is exceptional in so many ways. All of the engines are from Stuart, and all 3 of them have Stuart 500 series boilers, one 504 and 2 501s. They are, as you can see, in a bit of a state. They're all very dirty and there's a collection of fairly horrible bits with them too. By this I am not referring to the 501 meths burner that's in the picture. I'll be restoring that too. All of the engines are dirty, one is partly dismantled and one of them needs a complete rebuild. Here it is, a Stuart Score engine. Whoever built this engine just built it. There was no attempt made to fettle the castings or clean up anything like that. And as for the dynamo, which of course is a Stuart but it's only a little toy one, and the switch panel and the box with the hinges are not going to be used as any part of the steam plants. In the foreground, in this clip, is a partly dismantled 10H. Luckily, I found the parts in a box. I'm just curious why it was dismantled in the first place. I will find out in the fullness of time. It turns over okay, but it's gummed up with old oil. You may recognise this engine as a Stuart Victoria. And although it's very dirty, grimy and again gummed up with oil, it's the best Stuart Victoria I've ever seen. I'll show more of this later on in the episode. Having a cursory glance at the boilers, they look okay. There's some damage to the pressure gauges and 1 or 2 other things, but nothing that looks too serious. From a looks point of view, I'm going to put the 504 boiler with the Stuart Victoria. And having a closer look at this Stuart Score engine, I'm definitely going to give this a total rebuild. It's a bit of a mess, and it's not as well made as the other 2 engines. The mounting base for the Score is okay. It has a tray to catch the oil, and the oil is then piped out to the pipe that sticks out of the side for disposal. This is the old Stuart 504 boiler that was on the board with the Score. All of the piping to these engines is fairly diabolical. This exhaust pipe was corroded into the cast iron hole and required an application of WD-40 followed by much bending and pulling and pushing. After a surprisingly long time, it came away from the boiler. Here it is, a piece of copper pipe. Most of the piping on these engines is not good. 2 of them have water pumps and the water piping is not too bad, but this steam pipe uses a commercial flange, the same type used in the hydraulic braking system of a car. The first engine I'm going to work on is going to be this Stuart Score, and it's going to have to be dismantled almost back to a kit, and I will start by filing and fettling and shaping the castings. All of the boilers need to be dismantled. What I'm looking for is asbestos, and in the 504 boiler there isn't any asbestos. It's important with these old boilers to make sure that you get rid of every trace of asbestos if you find any. The worst case scenario is when people glue the asbestos millboards to the side, and when it's removed it leaves lumps of asbestos stuck to the adhesive, which in turn is stuck to the inside of the side plates. This 504 boiler was completely asbestos free, I'm pleased to say. Some traces of asbestos on the 501 boiler were found. We filled the kitchen sink full of water and deposited all of the parts in there, and the traces of asbestos were just washed away. And this was all done underwater, so there was no chance of breathing any in. This engine is a puzzle. I'm not sure why it's been dismantled, and looking at it closely, it's superbly engineered, very much like the Victoria, possibly built by the same person. Thankfully, the missing parts were found in a small plastic box, and they were completely intact, including the governor. Time to have a look at this stunning Stuart Victoria. There's a brass plate on the front, and I cleaned this up using some Brasso, and engraved on the plate is model of 1856 factory engine by T.P. Arnott, Largs, 1979. I didn't know what Largs meant, so I googled it, and apparently it's a place on the coast very close to Glasgow. This engine is fitted with cylinder drain cocks that you don't see very often on Stuart Victorias. The lever feels so good, it's beautifully made. I connected the air line and opened the valve. That was after I'd oiled every possible part of the engine, including the cylinder inside. I mean, just look at this. The drain cocks empty into a bucket. And this is not just any small bucket, it's been custom made for the job. It locks in place on a base. Look. After a while you can remove it to empty the oil and then lock it back in place and start again. This and a lot of other features make this model of a Stuart Victoria exceptional. The aforementioned Mr. T.P. Arnott must have been an exceptional model engineer. This engine is not really built to the drawing. The Victoria that I'm building as part of a series is much simpler than this one. The lubrication system is just, well, ridiculous for its size. Look at this. These are not just oil cups, they have wick feeds in them. Let me show you the principle. I've filled the oil cup with oil, and when I press my finger on the top, a drop of oil drips onto a specially shaped prong that's fitted onto the end of the piston rod where it meets the valve fork. The arrow is pointing to the fact that all of these oil cups have wick feeds in them. The wick would be a strand of very fine cotton, but they are nowhere to be seen. Maybe they were taken by the mice, because there is evidence that these engines were stored where mice were present, possibly in a shed or something. Here you can clearly see how the lubrication system works. Very clever and very much like full-size practice. And there's more. There's a similar arrangement by the crank pin. The drip on the pipe gets bigger and bigger, and then eventually the crank pin catches it and gets lubricated. I've seen similar arrangements on full-size engines where they use a leather strap that drips oil onto the parts. Very simple, very clever, very effective. Because there's no wicking installed, I have to fill the oil cup and then press the top, which makes the drop a little bit bigger. And as I just said, eventually the drop gets big enough to be carried away by the crank pin. This engine is really dirty. I'm just having a look at the magnitude of the dirt by wiping the crosshead guides with a piece of Scotch-Brite. A major problem with miniature steam engines is rust and dirt. It can be difficult to remove. It's not so bad on the con rod, but it's really difficult to get right into the corner. I will have to slightly dismantle this engine to get at some of the parts to clean them thoroughly, particularly the valve gear at the front. I think my ultrasonic cleaner will be useful for this, but I'm not just going to dunk the entire engine in there. I'll have to take the parts off the engine. This video is a little bit Stuart Victoria heavy. I do apologise. It's not often that I come across such a wonderful example. I think it's time to have a quick look at the Stuart score. The flywheel was fitted to the crankshaft using a slot-headed screw. I removed the flywheel, removed what was left of the slot-headed screw, rethreaded the hole, 4BA and fitted a 4BA Allen head grub screw. This clamped the flywheel very securely to the crankshaft. You can clearly see if you look on the eccentric sheaves. The slot-headed grub screws are also broken in half on these. This score will be the first engine that I work on. I don't normally enthuse too much about steam engines, but I can't really get over how good this Victoria is and how different it is to the original drawing. Just look at these. They are works of art and very difficult to manufacture. On the drawing, they're just shown as square blocks of steel. This is pure poetry in motion. And this, by the way, is running in real time, not slow motion. My breathing is louder than the engine itself. amazing. That's it for now. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it interesting. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.